Changes. Big changes being made. Big changes being made at board level. Big changes being made at club level, at training level, at recruitment level. Big changes being made. This one here is the big one. Kroenke and Josh Kroenke. Big Stan and Little Josh. Or should I say Big Stan and Big Little Josh. Josh Kroenke becoming an Arsenal fan through and through? Is he embracing Arsenal? It looks like it. It feels like it. Let's talk about it. Episode 2 of Let's Talk, guys. I'm going to compile this episode into pretty much everything that's been happening over the last few days, over the last couple of weeks or so, news, regarding Arsenal, regarding the Premier League, regarding football in general. We've got some football, of course, in the Champions League today. As I am recording this, Arsenal are playing on the Europa League second leg tie tomorrow against Sporting at the Emirates Stadium. I was trying to get tickets for that, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, changes being made. Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke are co-chairs of Arsenal, with Tim Lewis now being vice co-chair. And what does this mean? I don't know what this means. I think, look, my initial reaction to this is kind of like, okay, cool. So they've been making a lot of changes, you know. For the past 2 years, there's been a lot that's going on at Arsenal. And I think it all comes down, it all is, you know, we can attribute this all to one detailed point, which was where Stan Kroenke, or should I say KSC, Kroenke Sports Entertainment, they become the sole owners of Arsenal Football Club in terms of, you know, taking over in terms of the shares. And I think through that happening, or so, you know, at the point of that's obviously happened, you've then had an explosion of changes. And listen, no one can argue with those changes. No one can complain, and no one can scrutinize. Of course, you can always question certain things, and you can kind of question as to what direction some of these decisions are going. But what are we saying, Arsenal fans? What are we saying in general about the Kroenkes? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your feelings. Please, for whoever's going to watch this video, please drop a comment in regards to what you think, guys, just from an engagement standpoint. Smash the like button out this video. I would appreciate that so much. And also share as well, so that I can continue growing my community and growing my audience in this. But listen, from my perspective and from my viewpoint, I think they're now starting to focus a bit more on Arsenal, clearly. I think it's reached a point where they realise that Arsenal needs tangible success, clearly. You know, real success. You know, we've been craving success. I think the episode with the Super League, the first time around, was a real wake-up call for a lot of these owners in regards to them realising that true power is still within the fans, is still with the fans. And, you know, they were put under pressure, you know, and I think they kind of reflected as well and kind of evaluated and really decided to put into perspective everything that's happened in terms of them being part owners or majority owners, right up to the point that they obviously having this, you know, this reflection. And it wasn't great. I'll be honest with you. The Kroenkes haven't been great owners. They haven't been inspiring owners, you know. FA Cups here and there, all the way with Wenger. FA Cups with Arteta, like, but no major honour. No Champions League, no Europa League, no Premier League. So, all in all, for a club like Arsenal, with the history we have and the type of, you know, class we have and where we stand in the scale in terms of English clubs, you can pretty much say the tenure has been a failure, and it has been a failure. And, you know, we've gone through great lengths of seeing what ways we can get the Kroenkes out. All down to the point, do you guys remember when we was about to accept a bid or potential bid from a compiled unit which comprised of Henry, Vieira, Bergkamp, working alongside with the Spotify owner? It was mad. But that's how much Arsenal fans, that was like the climax, like, rah, wait, Kroenke's, because Arsenal fans will never boycott. They never stop going to the stadium. So those kind of scenarios, they just weren't realistic scenarios. And now, here we are. A year or two later, and a critical decision that I feel as though changed everything, or started blossoming everything from not only from a general perspective, but from an off-field to on-field perspective, which was obviously adding and just kind of like, I don't know who within Arsenal knew that Arteta was the right man, but whoever Kroenke got the advice from, and whoever Kroenke listened to at that point and said, you know what, okay, cool, we go for him, because the thing is, we know they try to go, the Kroenkes tried to get Arteta before Emery came in, but it just wasn't the right time. Before they became full owners, what was it like? Was it just a case of like, okay, cool, I'm gonna park this amazing institution that we have here, and I'm gonna keep it mediocre? And I don't understand like why it's taken, but maybe it's a case of, okay, because we needed full ownership, now here we are. Now we're gonna slowly show you guys what kind of owners we're gonna be, and gradually you're gonna see changes being made, and gradually you're gonna see things being put in place that will show you that we are serious. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even think, deep down, I don't even think it's Stan, because I just think Stan comes from that era where it's it's bygone. It's he's very US sport kind of mindset, kind of, you can see it, you can tell, even for him not speaking, you can just tell, like, his whole vibe is American sports, yeah. And this institution, this juggernaut of a club is looked at through Stan's eyes as a means to make money and a sort of status. I own a Premier League club. But I think for Josh is a bit more. I think for Josh, he's looking at it. I think Josh has had, because of the extra visits, and because that he's connected with someone or something, or some sort of area or some sort of section of the fan base and the club in itself, and now he's I'm sure, listen, it's just the vibes that I get. Let me know if you guys feel different. Any of you watching this video feel different, but I feel like he's kind of gone to his dad and he said, Dad, you know what, yeah, I'm actually starting to like that club, but on a different level, and we need to do things more serious. We now own the club. We're full ownership custodians of this club. And I can see, you got your hands busy. You're fighting lawsuits left, right, and center about moving NFL teams from one city to the other. Like, you don't have the time. You're silent Stan when it comes to Arsenal, but I do. I've got the energy. I've got the vibrance. I've got the hunger to try get that club to lift that Premier League. You've seen some interviews on the Arsenal website, the way how he's talking, it's all about success now. We're focusing on success and major honours. You've seen it. I've said it before in my videos, us doing things like putting 50 million up for Thomas Partey, that was a full 50 million if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, but I think it was we had to activate his release clause. So you have to put the full money if I'm not mistaken. These were not moves that the Kronkes would have made with Wenger around, or in Wenger's time, or even in Emery's time. And he just wasn't as engaged. Josh was nowhere near as engaged with Arsenal when Wenger was still around. Fair enough, of course, Wenger still had the control of everything, but even when the likes of, what's his name, Sanlehi were in the club, okay, cool, he was starting to, be seen a little bit more around and stuff like that, but still, it was more or less a case of, look, I'm here to tell you guys what to do. I'm going to smile 1 or 2 times for the cameras and I'm out. Now you see him taking the time, since Arteta's been around, you see him taking the time to do more interviews, to sit down more, to engage with the fans, or, parts of the fan base. Maybe not the everyday match-going fans and so forth, but, sections of the fan base that we maybe from the corporate side, but at least he's having more of a interest in Arsenal, and he's growing more of a love for Arsenal. That's the vibes I get from Josh Kroenke, not from Stan, from Josh Kroenke. I can only assume that if Stan was to, move aside from the business, he will give this business to Josh. You'd be like, Josh, you run Arsenal. Because you're putting all of these people in place. Like, who's put Richard Garlick in place, who's doing a great job? Who's put Arteta in place, who's doing a great job? Who's put Edu in place? Who said come and get Edu, Like, who got Tim Lewis? Tim Lewis, if I'm not mistaken, has been working as a KSC lawyer for many years. That's like the official sports lawyer. So these are actual people, and he just so happens to be a Arsenal fan. Listen, don't quote me on any of these things, but this is what I'm hearing in the grave pan, and this is what, Tim Lewis, lifelong Arsenal fans, you read some of these articles, and whether they're true or not, I don't know, but a lot of them are true, and a lot of them are factual, And this is not a video for me to say, oh, I love the Kronkes now, but I'm just basically trying to say that we need to start talking about, okay, from this point moving forward, so from the beginning of this season, moving forward, or maybe even from last season. And, last season, okay, we bottled it when it came to the top 4 run, but you can't really and truly put that down to the Kronkes. I think the money was made available. I think Edu and Arteta then ultimately and they made the final decision to say, you know what, we're going to hold to accumulate a little bit more of a budget, and then we go again. And then, the Kronkes and Tim and all of the guys that are running the board, ultimately, when it comes to yes or no for the big millions to come out of the accounts, it's Josh who's then going to call his dad. But he has his dad's ear, so he'll be like, Dad, you might be saying, okay, look for an alternative because it's 50 million up front, but Arteta really needs this guy, Thomas Partey. We need that full 50 million, Dad. Let's get it. Do you get where I'm coming from? I just feel like that's the vibes now. Let me know if I'm completely wrong. Let me know if I'm off the boil, and let me know if I'm, giving too much credit to the Kronkes where it's not deserved. Because we are also having success, not just on the field, but off the pitch as well. We're not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. And I feel like there's many areas that we still got to work on. We still have to start getting full value for our players. Like, if we're going to sell players on, Arsenal need to start really finding a way to get the full value for the players, bro. And other areas such as those. But I like what they're doing in terms of, focusing on, re-establishing the Emirates in terms of maintenance and so forth, focusing on the structure of the club, focusing on all of the other things we do around for the community, focus on, on the financial aspect of the club and keeping it healthy and keeping it stable, and then looking at the footballing side of things and bringing that back to the forefront of the club, which is essentially translating to competing for the major honours at the most elite level. I feel like Josh has told his dad, look, I want to be part of this. I want to be spearheading this. I want to be co-chair with you. Okay? And his dad said, you know what, fam? Do you know what, young man? You're ready. You got this. You've grown a beard. You see what Josh has been on late. You see what he's been on. Now, what does Major Stan Kroenke announcement mean for Arsenal after new roles confirmed? So let's have a quick read about it. I've got a quick article here. It says, decision to formalise the position reflects the club's leadership structure's evolution since Kroenke Sports Entertainment took over 100% ownership of Arsenal in 2018. Back in 2013, Josh was appointed as a non-executive director at Arsenal. Since then, he has played a key role in the club's leadership structure. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's Josh. I'm telling you, man. It's Josh. He's the one that's telling his dad, we need to have more of an impetus in Arsenal. We need to, we need to be there. The club needs more now. The club needs to. The club is super hungry for success now. We need to provide success for that club. We can no longer go another 3, 4, 5 years without major honours and competing for major honours. Meanwhile, Team Lewis left his role from law firm Clifford Chance last year to focus more on his role with the Gunners. Lewis has a long-standing relationship with the Kroenke family and advised the Kroenke family during the 2007 to 2018 period when Kroenke Sports Entertainment invested heavily in Arsenal. Do you know what? Sometimes I'm asking the question: if the Kroenkes owned Arsenal much earlier in terms of 100% ownership, would we have seen this type of change come much sooner? Would we be able to bridge the gap even to the point when Wenger was still here? If the Kroenkes had full 100% ownership back then, I don't know. I don't know. Again, maybe not, because I do feel as though all of this is coming more from Josh than Stan. I don't think this is Stan, at the age that he is, at the stage that he is in life, being so successful with all of these other sports organizations and stuff like that, saying, oh, I've got this great new energy for Arsenal and we're going to do this and achieve that. Great if we win trophies, but if we don't, Arsenal's neither here nor there for Stan. They're just kind of like providing money where he can kind of use the business as some sort of leverage for all of his other ventures and keep it there. I think it's Josh that really wants to see success back within Arsenal. Lewis' expertise played a vital role in the acquisition of the club by KSC, which has led to recent evolution of the club's leadership structure. Again, Tim Lewis, Josh Kroenke, these guys are the ones that are really, really making these changes. Stan Kroenke said, this is a simple evolution as part of us all driving Arsenal forward and further reaffirms that the family's long-standing commitment to this great club. Okay? So obviously, he's gonna kind of have that final. This is like that. This is the autograph. This is the signing statement from obviously Big Stan. I think the one, again, really behind that and truly behind that, it is Josh. The change in leadership means very little for the club itself. It is just a formalization of working processes that have been like for a while. So again, because of course they're owners and they're just gonna be chairs, chairman, co-chairman, chairman. Essentially that's all it is. Nothing actually tangible changes. But what I think is very important within that is that he is now chairman. He's now executive chairman, and that's Josh I'm specifically focusing on. So you saw it there. He joined as a non-executive chairman back in 2013, it said, and now he's in there now. He's proper doing the business. And listen, I see us sitting where we are, and I see us going for things for the next 5 years. I see Josh Kroenke really taking over Arsenal in the next 5 years. I think Stan will really, just kind of disappear into the myths, and you will see Josh Kroenke really take over. But let me know how you guys feel about the Kroenkes. Let me know, what was your reaction to this news, and let me know what essentially you guys think we should start thinking about the Kroenkes from this point onwards moving forward. I know about the past, but there were circumstances, there were mitigating circumstances, and we have spent money. We spent money on a lot of wrong players. Who do you blame? Do you blame the people that were buying the players, recruiting the players? Do you blame the people that were hiring the people recruiting the players? Do you know what I mean? So then it goes back to the Kroenke. Like, there's a lot of mitigating circumstances that you can say, okay, cool. The reason why maybe we weren't charging for top honours is because, the stadium, and we had to pay this and we had to pay that and we had to do this way and we had to do that way. They didn't have full ownership of the club, but now they do, and we're seeing the changes. Or, do we simply say this is all a smoke screen, this is all Arteta's magic, and you're going to see that when it really comes down to the crunch, or we're going to see that when it really comes down to it, when we need that marquee signing, we're going to fall behind again in the summer windows. Let's see. Caicedo, we nearly picked him up. If Brighton were willing to do business, we would have picked up Caicedo for £80 million. Like, the man them cannot tell me that Kroenke is not doing this business now, and Josh is not saying, do you know what, bro, if you need the peas, and if this is what's gonna be what brings the success and brings the major honor, here's the money, my boy. You decide whether it's too much or not. You lot are the true football people. Tim Lewis and Garlic and Edu and you, Arteta, you lot are the true footballing people. I look at things from a sport perspective, and obviously, man, we're running the club, the money's here, but just know, say the money's here and available now, and there's no more, riff-raffing about the money. We're not gonna do Pepe business where, of course we want the best possible deal for us. That makes sense, but we're not gonna do all of this £10 a year, 10 million a year to have complications when the club is clearly asking for this much up front. Like, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to go and do it, But again, it needs to be when it makes sense. 88 million for Mudryk wouldn't have made sense. 12 million or 11 million, whatever it was for Felix, it's just like, sometimes you really need to say, do you know what? As much the fact that we have the money, it doesn't mean that we have to do this nonsensical action here. Do you get where I'm coming from? So, yeah, let's just put that into context. But listen, another thing very quickly, guys, I just want to give a little bit of an update in regards to the preview against Sporting. Of course, I've done my preview video before the presser, Mikel Arteta's presser. And look, to be honest with you, not much changes. He just pretty much spoke about a few bits and bobs. How's the atmosphere from the game to this game here in terms of training, the atmosphere. We've seen the pictures. It looks like a brilliant atmosphere. It looks like, it looks magical at the moment. Everyone looks happy. Everyone looks united. The players are back. On how good is to have Gabriel Jesus. He was asked. He said it's great to see him. And yes, we still need to ease him in. We need to make sure that his comeback is gradual. His comeback is slow. And this is what I said. For the next 2 to 3 games, maybe even 4 games, you continue to start Trossard, because Trossard is the guy at the moment. He's Mr. Trending. So we have to continue to start Mr. Trending. And on a step up against Fulham, against the disappointment in the first leg, we have to see a better performance. We will see a better performance at the Emirates. It just has to happen, I don't think there's any way, shape or form you're going to see a worse performance than what we saw at the Alvalade, and that still was, a performance where it was okay to take the result that we took, knowing it's a two-tie affair, it's a 2-legged game. What else was he asked? On any other team concerns? He has no other team concerns. Everyone's pretty much available. Whether he expects Ben White to be selected for England duty, he's available for us, so he should be available for England as well. On Emil Smith-Rowe returning to the squad, he mentions, of course, Emil Smith-Rowe is going to be slowly reintegrated into the squad, but all in all, he's taking it easy with Smith-Rowe as well. Smith-Rowe is an injury-prone player. As much as we don't like to say it, and as much as we don't want to agree, he's an injury-prone player, If you push too hard, you're going to get injury from him. So, yeah. Still, everything pointing to what I said in my original preview, guys. We're going to see a much rotated squad. We're going to see the likes of Turner come in. We're going to see the likes of potentially Kivior play some minutes as well. We should see Saliba just to solidify that defense a little bit more. But we will see Tomiyasu. We will see Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira was taking part in the presser. He was also put up with the media to answer questions. And man, I see nothing but a 2-0 win. Hopefully we can blow them out the water. Hopefully we can blitz them and get a convincing win, just like how City did in the Champions League. Imagine we beat them 7-0. It'll be incredible, It'll be, 9-2 on aggregate or something silly like that. It'll be unbelievable, but let's keep our heads, let's keep our heads on the ground. Let's keep our feet on the ground. Let's keep our heads clear, and let's just make sure we actually get the job done and we move to the quarterfinals. Listen, guys, let me know what you think. Please like the video. Please smash the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let me know your thoughts and your feelings in regards to what I mentioned there. The Kronkes, are the Kronkes turning it around? Are the Kronkes now being, looked at in a different light? Are we going to start to really laud what the Kronkes are doing, and not forgive and forget, but forgive and move forward together? Always keeping the memory fresh, because this is how you keep things in check. You always scrutinize, you always ask questions, you always make sure that you criticize constructively. However, praise can also start to come in, and I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans out there will give praise to the Kronkes for how they look like they're now managing what seems to be a club and what looks like a club that is fully under their control now, you know, and they can really start to shape it in their image. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in a jiffy. Everybody take care of yourselves, take care of people you love, and take care of others you don't love as well. Peace.